fish right there. I love it. Wow. That's a nice walleye. Okay, yeah, he's a little better. Nice. Yeah, you know what? He's an edible. Right there. Whoa, there you go, buddy. Whoa. This is the best fishing I'll probably have all year.
The Fishin' Canada Show, brought to you in part by Ram Trucks. Nothing works harder than a Ram. Stearns, trusted on the water since 1952. Mercury Outboards, #1 on the water. And Outdoor Canada, Canada's only national fishing and hunting magazine.
The next two shows are going to be of great interest to all of you who fish for more than one day at a time. It's about having one day when you can do no wrong.
I love that.
And the very next day when you're wondering what the heck happened.
Oh, he got off. Oh, he got off.
They're about structure and pressure and how modern day sonar can make a good day on a water spectacular and turn a seemingly skunky day into a day you can brag about to your buddies. So why did we choose Nagagami Lake? According to our sources, this is one of the best structure lakes in the province. It's located 29 kilometers northwest of Hornpain, Ontario, in the Algoma district, home to beautiful Timberwolf Lodge, our home base for the next 5 days. For as long as we've been in boats, whether fishing or exploring, mariners have been desperate to know what was below them. How many times did they have to run aground to figure that one out? First, it was line sounding. Lines with a lead weight at the end running along the bottom, and markers every 6 feet or so, allowing them to read how deep or shallow they were. Then, as science progressed, it was echo sounding or sonar, a device that emitted sound waves to the bottom and recorded the time it took to bounce back. Higher and lower areas appeared wavy in the graph. This gave us hydrographic or contour maps that a lot of us still use today. These days, sonar have become a very sophisticated, complex, computer-based science that can map the floor of a body of water with precision and acuity. You'll think you're looking at a three-dimensional photograph. Gone are the days of the local old-timers telling you where the hot spots were.
Oh, there's that fish right there. That is awesome. That is so awesome. You see a fish on your screen and you catch him. That is too funny. Doesn't feel very big, but little walleye. That's so cool. You find the structure on your map, you see the fish on your fish finder, and you drop it down in front of his nose and he eats it. Technology is so excellent. You know what? And people think, wow, that's unfair. That's not fair to the fish. But you know what? You still have to make that fish bite, right? You still have to get him to eat. Okay, that's the part of the game that's the toughest part. We're just giving the odds as an angler. We're getting the odds in our favor, easy girl, a little better by using your electronics to try and get closer to the fish or get closer to the areas, put yourself on the fish, and then you got to figure them out. So, that's just a little guy to start the day off. But I'll tell you what, it's fun because structure fishing is so important, especially for walleye like that right there. That and a lot bigger. Now I'm using my chart, I'm using my fish finder, boom, I catch that fish.
So, what is structure and why is it so important we find it? Most fishermen have a pretty good idea of what it is, but as a refresher, structure is any change in contour of the bottom of a body of water that causes change in depth. Points, vertical bluff walls, humps, submerged islands, ledges, and creek channels are a few examples. They all have the same common denominator, an edge, a change in depth. Find an edge and you'll likely find a fish, and that's the reason why we try so hard to find it.
I love it.
We're on Nagagami Lake in Ontario, targeting a particular drop-off for a particular fish. High-tech companies like Garmin have developed sonar systems that can see and map not only down, but out to the sides up to 750 feet. Now, not only can you see structure, but you can see fish so clearly that you can even sometimes identify them.
I got a lot of line on this guy, so it'll take a bit of time. But what I did is I ran the ridge, I run the edge of this structure. Now normally when you're running your electronics, a lot of times when the fish are scattered like this, you can literally cherry pick your fish. Drop down to them. You see them on the screen, you drop down to them. But on this time I thought, you know what, there was enough marks in the range that I thought I might as well try a drift. Oh, there goes my minnow. Okay, yeah, he's a little better. A little better of a walleye. And again, that fish is 100%, no, 99% electronics caught. And a jig got the rest of them, that 1%. Didn't bump it at all. Didn't pop it or that typical tap of the walleye, but hey, we're getting better now.
Nagagami was gouged out of the earth by the Laurentide Glacier about 10,000 years ago. It has huge inflows and a massive outflow, so the lake is well circulated and well oxygenated, and therefore full of nutrients. Nagagami is also full of fish, predominantly walleye, but pike, perch, and whitefish abound.
So what I'm doing now, I found this break that these fish are on, or some fish are on. So I'll drift it downwind, just keeping my electronics going. Now I'm not so worried about the GPS. Now I can kind of run a contour. I'll look at my GPS every now and then. I got a split screen going on it. So I'll drift down and then I'll work back up so I can try and catch them both ways now. So if I got one that way and I've got a couple that way. So that's cool. I like that. Now I can just stay on that ridge. If the fish stay this size, I know this lake's got a lot bigger, I'll try and get some bigger fish, I'll move on. But I got this thing waypointed now in the GPS. I can come back tomorrow, the next day, and you never know, it could turn into 4 or 5 pounders.
We're on Nagagami Lake in the Algoma district of Ontario. Our host Gary Wallace at Timberwolf suggested that I go around the Twin Islands just north of the lodge, a place he knew to be a popular spot. The weather was perfect. A bright day, few clouds with a little chop on the water. The fish were all over the place and relatively shallow at around 12 feet, but concentrated around and along ridges. By splitting the view, I could see where the boat was relative to the ridge on the GPS screen and where the fish were relative to the boat on the fish finder screen. By marking the arches with waypoints, I could maneuver back to the exact spots along the break line whenever I wanted.
Wow. That's a nice walleye. Right there, people. That's a good walleye. Easy. Easy, girl. That is it right there, folks. You know, that's a 23, 24-inch walleye right there. And that's what you come up here for. And this lake, apparently, Nagagami Lake, is loaded with these. When you get on them, it's just loaded. I think, I got a feeling this spot, I'm just, I'm dropping it down and it's hitting, dropping down and it's hitting. So, this could be good. You're going to be batting pretty much 1,000 with that species of fish right there. Woo!
I'm in the Algoma district of Ontario fishing Nagagami Lake, a body of water known for its outstanding structure features, which is perfect for walleye fishing.
Boy. Yes, you gotta love that. They are stacked on here. I'm sitting in 12 and a bit, so I was casting in probably, 15, 16. Oh, you're looking big fella, little fella, sort of a fella. Nice looking fish. But there's times, you know what, they just don't want artificials. My next move will be to downsize an artificial and see if I can do something with that. The one I'm throwing is obviously too big, or maybe they don't want a white bait. There's all kinds of factors in there. The one thing you can be assured of is if you put a minnow on in the cold water, a worm on the warm water, and a leech on somewhere in between, you're gonna be batting pretty much 1,000 with that species of fish right there. Whoa, there you go, buddy. Little rambunctious. So I took 2 or 3 casts with the artificial, nothing. 1 cast with the live, bingo. Oh, this place is stacked. Ooh, I think I see a big walleye here, folks. I thought I saw a big old 6 or 7 pounder, but I will take this fish. Look at those things fight like that. That is so awesome. When you get onto these dudes and they're thick as thieves like this, it is so much fun. Look at that. Can you see this in the water? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minnows. Now they could be minnows from the lake, or they could be minnows from other anglers too, right? So you have to, because these guys can steal your minnow pretty good. They're minnow thieves. But this guy didn't get mine. So I'm happy about that. There's my dead minnow. And there's my nice little walleye. Good looking fish. And fight good. I actually thought he was a lot bigger than that, but I'll take him. I take him. I take every cast. Are you kidding me? See you, my friend.
Today's hotspot is a medium-sized hump rising from the depths of Nagagami Lake in northern Ontario. The waypoint on your screen will get you there. This is a classic structure that will get even better than my outstanding day as the season progresses. With water in the 50 to 60 degree area, you can try soft plastics on your jig, but always have a bucket of minnows on hand just in case. This structure tops out at around 8 to 10 feet, then drops off gradually to over 20, and finally plummets to 50 plus feet. Make sure you check all depths with your electronics. For more hotspots like this one, check out fishingcanada.com. On this trip, I discovered a great little trick on my Garmin for walleye fishing. Once I located my fishing area, I turned my unit on the split frequency screen. The 200 kilohertz on the left side shows bottom features with fantastic detail, but not so great on the fish, while the 77 kilohertz on the right side defines actual fish with perfect clarity, but only the basics on structure. If you're fishing for walleye close to the bottom, it's a must to check out the split frequency screen.
It is so predictable when you get onto it, when you get onto using your electronics. That's another decent fish. Look at this guy. So I'm sitting there and I know the area. I've got it dialed in pretty good. Now I'm going to use my electronics. I'm going to say I'm in 15 feet. I need to come into about 12. And that's what happens when you do it right. Fishing both sides of the boat. Now they're gorgeous, gorgeous walleye. I saved my minnow. That's rare. Look at that. Man, these fish are on fire out here. Either that or this fishing is just insanely good all the time here. Look at that. Man. Woo-hoo-hoo. See you, buddy. Whoa. Oh. This feels like a walleye, and it feels like a good one. Yeah, this is better. This is a nice walleye. I got my drag set really loose, but you can feel the line raking on his teeth. Good fish, real good fish. Yeah. That is pure Algoma walleye right there. And I'm talking about this fish sitting amongst 50 to 200 walleye probably in the spot. Look at that. Wow. I love you, honey. I'm gonna put you back. Oh, look at that. Evening light. The best time of the night for walleye, or damn time of the day for walleye fishing. Wow. These rods are so sensitive nowadays. You don't even know if it's a fish or not. It could be a little trick of weed, little. I'm just coming up to it. Very close to it. Oh. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Just coming up. It's a perfect drift going on the structure. I'm coming right up in that. Now I'm in 13 feet of water. Out about 14 or 15. That fish pumped me. This feels like a great walleye. Oh yeah. He's a little bigger. Good looking fish. Not huge, but really good looking fish. Oh yeah. What am I talking about? Look at that beast. Oh yeah, fish of the day. Wow. Wow. Again, just barely touched that jig and minnow. Look at that. That is a structure walleye using my electronics to dial everything in and then just sitting I find the spot with the GPS. Okay, I use the split screen GPS fish finder. Now that I know where I am, I'm gonna go back and forth. I've really got it dialed in. I've got it dialed into a 50-foot circle, you know, basically like that. So I can take the GPS off now. I can just use the fish finder, run my drifts, and say, here I come up from 15 to 12, looking for fish on the screen if you see them, or bait. And that's the results right there. And it makes it fun. Using your electronics and your fishing structure like this makes it fun to catch fish like that.
What a great day. But the reason wasn't all about the electronics. Mother Nature and her barometer had a lot to do with it too. I didn't realize at the time, but I was fishing on the cusp of a falling barometer, a prefrontal low, when all the creatures in the food chain are active. Ange realized it the next morning when, using my waypoints on the Garmin as a guide, he found himself, believe it or not, in empty water. But he'll tell you that story next week in part 2 of our Nagagami experience. To get to today's awesome walleye fishing, we first took Highway 400 north to Highway 69. We then took Highway 17 to White River. We turned right onto 631, which took us to the Ford Air Base near Hornpain, Ontario. From there, it was a short flight to Timberwolf Lodge.
Today's KLP is K for knowledge. Knowledge of your electronics. I'm on a structure lake here for walleye. This is a beautiful lake. I got to use my chart to find the structures. Then I got to use my fish finder to find either transitions, boulders, drops, or even fish. It's crucial that you know how to read these things for all those little things. A transition looks a little different than a normal bottom. A fish on the bottom looks a little different than a fish up high. You have to know how to use all that stuff. Take these things in your garage, in your driveway, play with it on the, off the water. Learn the stuff inside and outside, and I guarantee you, you will become a better angler.
The Fishin' Canada Show, brought to you in part by Sail, the Canadian Outdoors Superstore. Coleman, the Outdoor Company. Cooper Tires, life's a road trip. Come on, let's go. And Princecraft Boats, dominate the waters.